Hey everyone, we're going to be taking a look at Milwaukee's new M18 HP TrueView LED floodlight today. It's got a hybrid power option, so you can use an M18 battery or plug it into a wall outlet. It outputs a very impressive 3,000 lumens on high, and with a 5 amp hour battery that's going to last you 2 hours, so it's drawing 2.5 amps of current to power the light. On medium, it'll output 1,500 lumens, and you double your runtime for 4 hours. On low, it's 650 lumens with a 9-hour runtime. So you've got quite a few different options on high power, low power, long battery life, short battery life. So we'll go ahead and take a closer look at this thing, and I'll give you a demo of how bright the light is. So up close on the head here, you can see there are 12 LEDs in their reflector pockets. That makes it look like there are 9 of them, but there's one in each of these spots. And those reflectors give it a pretty good light output dispersion, so it's a pretty even beam pattern. The head itself rotates 240 degrees. It's got positive stops, 17 of them. Rotates all the way through vertical and all the way down the other side. Back here you can see there's a massive heatsink that's pretty much the whole head except for the LEDs on the front. And it does a good job of keeping it cool, because remember, this is putting out 3,000 lumens with 2.5 amps of current running through it. And this heatsink keeps it cool enough that it doesn't get above 120 degrees even after it's been running on high for an hour. Back here is the on-off switch. Just keep pressing it for the first press is full brightness, the second press is medium, third press low, fourth press off. On the back, you've got your M18 battery spot. I've got a 2 amp hour in it right now. You can see there's more space for a 4 or a 5 amp hour. Surprisingly, there's actually less room here than there is on the stand light, so I'm not sure if you get a 9 amp hour battery that Milwaukee's coming out with next year, if it's going to be sitting on the battery itself here. I'm not sure. Also on the bottom are 3 keyhole slots for hanging it however you want to, so you can run a screw into a drywall or a stud and just hang it right on there. Over on this side, you've got your plug, and it's got a good generous cutout for putting big power cords on it. So for instance, I've got this massive power cord and it fits down in there without any problems. So no worries there with different power cord types. It's got a ground option. You should be able to use it with anything. The roll cage for this is pretty sturdy, and you can see it actually covers any orientation. You've got this light. You're still within that roll cage. It's not a composite. It's just a hard plastic with a honeycomb layer. It seems pretty sturdy though. Over here on the side, you've got just torque screws that keep these the pivot in place, and actually running up through here is a wire. It's not a slip ring. There's just a bundle of wires that feeds in there, and it's got enough slack that it can rotate through the 240 degree range. Alright, so now that you've seen all the features up close, we'll go ahead and turn off all the lights in the garage, and it's night outside, so there's not going to be any light coming in through the windows. And I'll show you how this thing will illuminate the whole workshop by itself without any problems. Okay, so right now I've got it up on my toolbox, pointed right at me. It's on high. You can see there's plenty of light. It does have some shadows going here, and it's actually a lot better than the stand light for even light distribution and cutting down on shadows, because the multi-element dispersion isn't quite as obvious. You can see there's a normal looking shadow here instead of like a million different little tiny shadows going everywhere. So it's got a more uniform beam than the stand light does. Alright, so you can see now it's on high. Gosh, that thing's bright. Like it's kind of blinding actually. Here, you see. If you point it straight up, it'll pretty much light up the whole room. Bouncing off the ceiling. There's medium, there's low. So there's off. So there's 3,000 lumens, 1,500 lumens, and 650 lumens. So keep in mind, 3,000 lumens is brighter than your ceiling fan light fixture. Regular light bulbs are typically 800 lumens each. If you have 3 of them in your ceiling fan, you've got 2,400 lumens lighting up your whole living room. This one puts out 3,000. So it might look a little unsightly hanging up on your ceiling, but it'll actually light up the room brighter than your whole light fixture will. Alright, now we'll turn the lights back on and I'll go through some of the more features and the usefulness of this thing. I used this thing this weekend when I was rebuilding my privacy fence that blows down during every windstorm. I completely took all the pickets off and, reset some posts and put the whole thing up. I was out there all day, and it gets dark at 5 here in the winter now, so from 5 to 9 p.m. I was using this and the stand light that I showed in the previous video, and it was like I was working outside in the daylight almost. Plenty of illumination, plenty of light, and the nice thing about this and the stand light is right about a minute to 30 seconds before they're going to shut off and run out of battery, they'll start flashing at you. So you better grab a battery pack and get over there, or you're going to be fumbling around in the dark. They don't just shut off and leave you to fend for yourself. This light does go through battery packs pretty fast. I've only got 2 amp hour battery packs for it, and they go out in about 48 minutes, right on the dot. So it's a steady current draw, unlike a drill or a saw that you got varying torque and it's drawing different amounts of current. This one draws a steady 2.5 amps on high, so it's gonna you just divide your battery amp hours by that and you get the runtime. This thing is a little bit heavy. It weighs in at 6.5 pounds without the battery, and carrying it's a little bit awkward because you got to grab it here and hold it at an angle. I kind of wish they had a way to carry it in the center. I know that would make the whole thing a little bit taller, but it would be nice if you could grab it and hold it like a lantern while you're walking somewhere to light up your path. The hybrid feature is really nice, and it's something I really wish the stand light had. So you can plug it in. Go ahead and do that. And you can turn it on. Let's lighten everything up, and say your clumsy buddy walks past and trips over the power cord, flickers for a split second, and then it starts running on the battery pack. So it automatically switches over to battery power once you've got the power cord out. If you plug the power cord back in, it starts using that again. Alright, so you can pull the battery out now. One question a lot of people will have is, does it charge the battery while it's plugged in? And the answer is no. Milwaukee has a lot of electronics in those chargers that check the health and the status of the battery and talk to the electronics in the batteries, and it'll be a lot more expensive to build that into this light as well. I think the only other thing they have other than actual chargers that charges the batteries are the Bluetooth M18 radio. The bare tool price for this is $150. For the price point, it's actually a pretty good deal because you're getting LED lights on this instead of halogen bulbs that you're going to have to replace. And they've got a lifetime guarantee. So you're never going to have to replace these LED lights like you would a halogen bulb, so you're going to make up some of your cost there. Plus, halogens can't really run off of batteries. They require too much power. Overall, I'm really impressed with this light. It's going to become a staple whenever I'm outside doing something, or if I just need some more light inside as well. It's a great option. I highly recommend it. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments section below, and once again, don't forget to subscribe.